Hi everyone, my name is Benwin. Welcome to COM 303, the Price application. Today I'm going to wrap up my assignment number 2 using Spring Boot MVC and JPA to implement an account maintenance app for a FinTech bank so that a user can register a customer profile, can create their banking account, and they can update or delete their account. Also, they can update their profile information such as their address or phone number. So the assignment also are to create a MySQL database with these objects, and we have to implement the primary key and also the foreign keys so that we can reference the object in the Spring Boot MVC. So I already have my MySQL running, and this is the new database name and the customer with the primary key and property for a customer. Also for the account type and account with the reference, account type reference to account. In here, as you see, that there's a phone key and these kind of my initial object in my database. But since I implement and I might have so many manipulations, so that I have a lot of object. So now let's go over to my client front end, and then I will show you my code, and as I go along I will show you certain my implementation for client and also for the server validation. First of all, the customer, when they log, they go to the main web. So if you ask the customer to register or to log in, and in here is the login, and if the customer they can bypass, they want to bypass our client, you see that I have the require in here. So if the customer they it's kind of the client validation, however they can bypass it by they can manipulate the HTML file like this one. I just delete the require property. Also they can delete the property right here, and they try to bypass the system, right? And also I use Spring Boot validation along with the binding resource. If you validate to see the object is correct with the model, and if not, it will return the error. And because I didn't delete it, my bad. Alright, let's do it again. I should ignore this one. So if the customer they bypass it, right in here, you see that it's go to the server, and the server say that this is still property, right? If they don't do it, so I have client validation. So they have client validation. So now the customer, after they created an account, right, they can log in, and I have my credential also kind of if they don't matching the password correctly, this kind is respawned from my server. And because for this assignment doesn't require to use token or cookie, so after I have to use paragraph to look for the customer and use the paragraph to direct the customer to their account. Otherwise, after the customer sign in with after they refresh the page, they may not have the web client may ask them to log in again. So that's why I use the paragraph for routing. Right here, right, you see that and the customer can log in, and also they can update their information, profile information here. And if they updated it successfully, there will be a message, and it will also refresh the page here, the account, right? And there's certain I disable it on the front end, so that these kind of properties the customer they cannot modify it, such as the username, the date of birth. I also have for the server validation, and the customer here they can create an account, banking account, and in the banking account there's selection list. It will return by using Thymeleaf, so that the customer to select the certain type of the, and you see right here, this kind of is returned by using override to string. It's just the one object of the account type. I use override to string, so it's quite long, but I don't have to mapping like my table right here. This is the power of using override to string for the account type, and in account type initial deposit. And also if the I also implement the JavaScript to check to disable if this overdraft is false, so that it doesn't have the user cannot enter the overdraft limit, and if the account type have overdraft, they can enter overdraft limit. So let's do this one. for the saving, right? So new account saving is the 1000 right here, and also they can update the balance like this one, update the balance. So new balance is updated, and also they can delete the account. And now on the assignment also ask the admin page can list the all account that have the balance less than the minimum balance amount, and also the kind of listing customer name who have saving more than 1000 and who have checking that have overdraft enabled in here. So I also have the admin page. They can go to the admin page and it say that no account matching, and in here, right, I can go to create that account with the minimum below minimum balance. Let's do it. Like this account and the minimum balance of 15. So create new account. Minimum balance is $20, and here just put $10, and it also have overdraft. So let's do overdraft 300. So you will see that this a new account. It has account number is 15, and now if I request it, it will say that the balance here $10, and this kind of override to string. And also it override to string. It lists the customer having the saving account more than 1000. So the kind of customer having the layer is 101. So it's the account using right here 101 saving more than 1000, and also the account 102. Let's go to account 102. So it has the saving more than 1000 right here, and with the customer with overdraft checking. So this kind of checking. And now let's go back to the code, and I will show you how to how my implementation have a client side along with the server side validation. The application is running, and you see that some happening because I enable it in my application properties, and also using Camo casing so that I don't mess up with database. Also, I think it's a good practice to use version control like GitHub, because it's this kind of website implementation require a lot of database mapping from SQL, from object, and also repository. So that's why I use version control. If I make any error, I can revert to certain commit and go back to my code. So let's talk about the dependency in here. I'm using a Spring Boot character, Thymeleaf for client, so starter web, starter validation, and as I showed you earlier, I have 3 objects: account type, customer, and I'm mapping this object correctly, like a customer with the account, so that in here mapping one too many, and I use override to string, and that's why I don't have to mapping a lot of things, this kind of database mapping and this kind of override to string. And also I have the customer repository to maintain certain kind of query or manipulation, and this one is just searching for customer using name parameter query, so that anyone hacker, they don't use they can use a SQL injection because I'm using parameter, so it cannot break my code like native query. And also this a account, and also have object generated value because the customer they cannot generate ID for object for the account number, and have mapping correctly. Also because I told you that I use client server validation, and on the customer, like I showed you that I use customer not null, and I send a message that customer ID is required, or username is mandatory, right, even though they bypass the client validation. And they have 2 main controller here. One is the backing up controller, and another one is the admin controller. I also reuse my code, professor code, for the login bin in here, because I understand the code, so I understand how the form, how the form works. So that's why I reuse the code of the login bin. And for login in here, it's just the template from professor, and I just reuse it, passing some navbar for me, and it's the login form is the same thing. So for the going back to the banking application, so as you see the controller, the tail, the client, the routing for the map, and also the template. So go to here, go to the index, and reach there. Many things I use, like the valid in here for put the binding resource to bypass it. And there's one thing that I use a redirect attribute, because I just want to make the code reusable and So using redirect along with the attribute, I can return the customer where the customer is, like redirect to the customer to the register, and if the if have an error, it return error message. So I make consistent error message and also success message. You can see right here, I have a lot of error message on my page and successful message. And they sometimes I have testing for my along with my code. I using a system out print line to bring out the any query or anything the customer to for debugging. And because this doesn't use any token, so after the customer login successfully using the login bean, so I redirect the customer to their customer account using the param, their customer ID. At first I using this one and then return it to the post, and then I keep I lost connection. So the customer, they have to log in my account for any certain transaction. So I don't think it's a good practice because there's no cookie or no token. So I have to implement my logic, the structure, and passing customer using repository to search the customer if it's return the error for the runtime, and also for the update. And I showed you earlier, I have also a lot of template for creating account, and for the register customer, also for update account. Like in here, read only in disable. However, some of well-known HTML they can bypass it. So that's why we have also the server validation, also the Thymeleaf. So this is an update account. So update the update the balance, or update the customer. Update balance form, also update the customer with their address, their email, and their phone number. And because we have mapping joining table, so for database, so that everything is implemented in the account repository. And if I understand the eager fetching or lazy fetching, but I don't use it right here. However, my Hibernate also use it for certain like default. I think maybe it's not good practice for when we have a log database, but right here is good, so that I can trust the customer. It had the low balance, low balance, using mapping, using ACC reference for account. So that's why when joining this table with the customer and also the account, it mapping correctly, using the customer ID. So that's why it's in the account repository. It's also return the list of customer object in here. And similarly, this also check the list the customer who has overdraft with the checking. I call. Alright, and one more thing, you see that I have a lot of transaction, and I don't have many templates in here. Why? Because I understand the structure, how I can reuse my code. So for admin, we have three like transaction in here, but it just return to the admin page. There's nothing more or less. You see that the routing is like that. And on the admin controller, on the admin page, so I use Thymeleaf just to check if the content of account or the content of customer are available, and just listing it for 3 transactions on the same page. And in the admin controller, I just use redirect with the attribute. So and I'm passing the content account or content customer, so that just reuse my code. I think I cover everything for this assignment. If you have any question, you can, or if you want to view my code, there's a GitHub repository. Or thank you. Bye.